This is the story of the cannibal tyrant Brol in Diablo 4, Act 3, Episode 4. After extracting Oyun from Gulran's prison, she gives us the location of the hidden underground passage leading to the palace. And so we meet Loreth at the cave's entrance via the winding trail of bones, and he muses.
While you were in the city, I was thinking on Elias's plans. Which of the lesser evils he means to summon. What he did to Gulran is a clue.
He has drowned it in blood.
Meaning his goal is likely Duriel or Andariel.
What's the difference?
Duriel feeds off physical pain, Andariel revels in mental and emotional torment. Whichever one it is, if Elias succeeds, many more cities will share Gulran's fate. Our only hope is he hasn't completed the summoning yet.
Loreth then meanders into the offal pits, and we follow close behind.
Oyun said the tunnel is in a hidden alcove.
Beginning our search, we're soon confronted with undead ghouls who have made the moist cavity their home. To the north, Loreth exclaims.
There. Ahead. Could that be it?
And we see twin-crossed sabers next to a large door, as promised, and ask Loreth, this is the place.
Twin sabers. Just as Oyun described.
As the door lurches open, we see dried blood of the dead left to rot by a stream. Climbing a nearby ladder, we skirt the edge of the cavern and see a gap in the bricks, indicating we are by the city's walls, and Loreth warns.
Wait. Do you hear that?
Why do we stay here? Need more prey, more meat.
And you will have it once Elias has finished his grand work.
What work? You will see soon, Brol. The seeds we have sown will bear fruit. Gulran will be reborn, and so will... But work.
Elias, he is poised to summon Andariel into the world. Her power will lift us to new heights. And of course, you will have more meat.
I want to watch.
Certainly, great Brol. You will be the guest of honor.
With Elias's demented plan laid bare, we charge around the corner following the blood trail, and Loreth despairs.
Andariel, the Maiden of Anguish. That is the lesser evil he means to summon. Heavens help us.
Inside the once opulent palace to the east, Lilith's disciples lie in wait. On the heels of the ex-Herodrum, we locate his throne room to the east. However, one of his underlings warns.
The Master calls forth the Maiden! You will not disturb him!
Attacking this harbinger of Mother's judgment, who sits perched atop a glyph of blood, she hurls violent bolts of electricity and summons swirling shock spells sent to shear flesh from bone. Despite the cruel sting of her sorcery, Loreth casts a stun spell that lands square on her back and proceeds to swing and stab furiously with his polearm as she rises in a daze, and we unleash a wave of blood that rends her corporeal form asunder. Looking at the glyph she stood atop, we see a gruesome collection of partially eaten corpses. Scraps of fine clothing suggests these may be the remains of the royal family. We then pause by the gruesome remains of the royals atop their throne, where these original overseers somewhat reaped what they had sown. Backtracking, we find in a nearby room a seal that bars our path to Elias's sanctum. Once dispelled, Loreth informs.
Look at all this. An archive of the forbidden. handpicked by Elias himself. He must be planning to summon Andariel somewhere else. But he did his research here. Look around. There might be some clues that can tell us where the ritual will take place.
The Pale Man's sanctum is a treasure trove of books and forbidden tomes, and we see on the nearby table one of his journal entries.
The prophecy is unfolding before my eyes. I was right to act on it. When the prime evils come, they will find no easy prey. We will be ready. Our rebirth begins here, with Andariel chained to the heart of Gulran. She will feed on the suffering in this city of anguish, and we in turn will feed on her. Andariel's power will be ours to wield against the other lords of hell. If more must die to see it come to pass, so be it. I will not fail you, Mother.
In the western corner, under a 3-headed snake statue, we locate sketches of 3 shrines, each depicting one of the prime evils, Diablo, Baal, and Mephisto. Below the drawings, Elias has written, "Only the blessed can open the way." Returning to Loreth, who is gazing at an unknown clump of flesh preserved in a jar, we inquire, "What have you found?"
I recognize many of these books. He must have stolen them from the Heradric vault.
Realizing we'd seen similar books in said vault, we question. Elias summoned demons long before this, didn't he?
Don't tell me you were meddling in the Heradric vault. I put a seal on his quarters for a reason. The fool thought he could use their power against the prime evils. Fight fire with fire. I gave him an ultimatum. Stop or leave the Heradric. You know the rest.
Leaving Loreth to his research, we find a nearby old, worn map. At the center of the map is the Temple of the Primes, an ancient complex buried beneath Mount Sivo. Notes are scrawled across the paper, and they appear to be calculations for how much of Gulran's populace would be needed to excavate the temple. Putting the clues together, we return to Loreth announcing, "Here's what I found."
Andariel, chained to the heart of Gulran. Her evil will not stay contained here. It will drown the land in suffering.
This is beyond madness.
Quite the opposite. Elias's mind is clear for once. When I knew him, he was searching for purpose. I couldn't give him one, and so he found it in Lilith. I didn't stop him. I let him become this.
Now is our chance to make it right, before things get even worse.
Yes, we have what we need. The summoning will take place at the Temple of the Primes in Mount Sivo. Now to find a way out. Knowing Elias, he would have had an escape route in case things didn't go his way. Behind the bookcase. I guess that's the one thing he learned from me.
Following Loreth to the hidden overlook, we find ourselves in a large open arena and ask, "What now?"
Should have killed him when I had the chance. We must hurry.
Exiting the corpse-smattered city, we begin our way up the forsaken ascent of Mount Sivo to the east. The terrain and its structures that sit upon the volcano are burnt alike, as if it had been set off not long ago, making our ride up the presumably active ascent all the more nerve-wracking. By a sizable group of slain demons, we locate Loreth and ask, "What is our next step?"
Somewhere in this paradise, the Triune has reclaimed its ancient temple. Trouble is, we can't simply walk in. Elias was researching something about shrines to Mephisto, Baal, and Diablo.
Only the blessed can open the way.
Yes, but to be blessed by the prime evils. Damn risky.
If it is the key to getting inside the temple, I will take the risk.
Bale's shrine is close. We'll start there.
As promised, to the east, past some fervent followers, we locate a crude yet menacing effigy of the Lord of Destruction, with some pressing questions that need answers before we're caught in the web of a prime. We ask of Na, what is the Triune?
They worship the Lords of Hell. Or at least they used to. If the Triune is working with Elias here, it must mean they pledged themselves to Lilith.
Wait, if the Triune worshipped the prime evils, why have they joined Elias?
It all comes down to power. The old cult bowed to the prime evils, little more than slaves to demons. But through Elias, through Lilith, they can become masters of demons. Or so they think.
But why would Elias want blessings from the primes? They are his enemies.
The blessings are just a means to an end. Elias needs the temple, a place of demonic power where he can summon Andariel.
Knowing we too must be granted the prime's blessing, we approach the altar and the candles spring to life.
Bale, Lord of Destruction. His influence has launched every war in history. Never once has he tired of conflict. Speak his true name. Tor Balos.
Tor Balos.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
2 more shrines to go. Diablo and then Mephisto. Stay strong.
With a foreign tingle of Bale's destructive energy surging its way across our very being, we cautiously seek out his brother, Diablo's shrine, finding it upon the spine of Sivo, his worshippers forgoing their lives for the Lord of Terror. Again, we proceed to the blood-soaked altar, and Loreth instructs.
Diablo, Lord of Terror. Every mortal fear, every nightmare, he is the root of it all. Always has been. Speak his true name. Al Diabolos.
Al Diabolos.
Incapacitated by terror, we have been twice lucky to walk away relatively unscathed. Yet somehow we can feel the aspects of the evils lingering, as we revel in the destruction of our enemies, almost feeding on the cultists' fears as we wipe them off the side of this charred rock. It's down by the molten lake's edge, in a camp devoid of life, do we find Mephisto's sinister countenance peering down at us. We turn to Loreth and mutter, the last shrine.
Mephisto, Lord of Hatred, Father of Lilith. You need to be careful. Her blood is already a part of you.
I can handle it.
You see? The power here is already agitating you.
I told you I can handle it. Tell me what to say, and then go search for the temple.
So be it. When you're ready, speak the name Dol Mephistos. But watch yourself.
Realizing Loreth is right, and we've been allowing the brothers to take root in our mind, we apprehensively recite,
Dol Mephistos.
and yet nothing happens to us. Instead, we see the familiar portal the bloodied wolf had opened before, and wary, we step inside. It's there the all-too-congenial wolf greets.
We meet again.
Mephisto. I know who you are now.
Yes, but that doesn't mean we can't help each other. That mortal Elias seeks to use the power of the primes for his own ends. No one knows their place anymore, do they? His meddling has drawn echoes of the past to my refuge of hatred. But you and I can put things back in order. Once you've brought peace to this realm, I will be able to give you my blessing.
Unsure how Elias is affecting the Lord of Hatred's realm, and disinclined to waste time wondering why, we focus on ending this supposed illusion.
The forces of hell approach!
And so we head up the snowy mountain path of Sescheron, putting down barbarians in events we were nary born during.
Ulkathos, lend me your strength!
It's only at its peak, post-slaughtering some numerous notable barbarians, does one called Gorm attack. Though formidable even as an illusion, his flesh still peels off like an overripe grape against our summoned blood wave. Seemingly satisfied with our performance, Mephisto purrs.
Well done. You were born for this.
I didn't expect a prime evil would need a mortal's help.
Yes, I've had some bad luck in recent years. Trapped in those soulstone trinkets, cast back to hell. My essence is reforming, and so my power has limits. We all have our ups and downs, don't we?
You deserve far worse.
All I have done is offer you help, and yet you repay me with hatred. Why not focus that anger on Lilith for the time being? Take my blessing. Destroy her. Save your world.
Before we leave, we inquire, who were those barbarians?
The victims of my brother, Baal. He laid waste to the barbarian lands long before your time. I wish I could have seen it with my own eyes. I had no part in it, though. Elias has upset the balance at the Temple of the Primes, and those shades of the past belong in Baal's domain, not mine. But I do welcome their hatred.
With all we need, we exit the portal and re-emerge at the spine of Sivo. To the east, overlooking the temple, we locate Loreth. And seeing the entrance, are surprised it's unguarded and inform Nah. I've received the final blessing.
What took you so long?
I saw something at the shrine. A wolf.
Mephisto has been known to take such a form.
It's not the first time I've encountered him.
What? When you kept this from me?
We all keep secrets, don't we, Haradrim?
We don't have time for this now. Elias could be in the middle of his ritual already. Clear your head before we press on. The Temple of the Primes is just ahead.
At the base of the mountain, we cross the River of Flame and the Triune symbol unmolested, hearing Mephisto's voice ring out.
By your hand, the way will be opened.
Inside the temple, we find tributes of both material wealth and human sacrifices to the Primes. Just to the east, a dark priest, Siban, threatens.
Trespassers! Your screams will welcome Andariel to the world!
And Yet it was her scream we heard instead. Passing through the halls of destruction to the west, Loreth stops us as he hears.
Wait, do you hear something?
Dodging a giant swath of its sword just in time, we begin fighting the Pit Lord, Marla, Master of Flame, dodging his fiery assault amidst his tantrum as it bashes the ground furiously. Fighting scores of cultists, we finally find an opening and see a sacrificial altar below, spying Elias mid-ceremony, as the cannibal Brol paces like a caged animal. Getting closer, Loreth whispers.
Oh, we're too late. The ritual is underway.
I will deal with Elias myself. Stay to the shadows.
With Loreth escaping the sacrifice, we're left to contend with the Tyrant King Brol, barely dodging death as we move to confront him, and one of his two large swords glances off our armor. The crazed cannibal proves surprisingly agile for his size, rushing us in a hulking charge and sending us flying. We realize one step too far near the pit, and we're done for in the lava below. Taking advantage of his great sword stuck in the floor thanks to an overhead swing, Brol becomes further enraged, calling forth his many minions. However, we quickly dispose of them, using their bodies for dangerous corpse explosions that catch his meaty flank. As we send a wave of blood at the brute, he shockingly charges through still intact. And it's only after a final heft of our sword that we dispatch the fiend. We then scoop up the items of the fallen hostile, including the legendary Torturous Adventurer's gloves, giving us a boost to our Iron Maiden with a 17% chance to have enemies be stunned for a second if they attack us. With Elias nowhere in sight, we retreat in the nearby path of stray souls through the double doors. Outside, the mysterious woman questions in pain.
What happened? It feels like fire crawling over my skin.
You were tattooed. A ritual.
I hear something. A voice in my head.
Andariel. A connection was made between you and her. Who are you?
Taisa. Who are you?
I am Loreth, one of the Haradrim.
Haradrim. So is Elias.
If he told you that, he was lying. I came to kill him. Thought I had, but the moment I looked away, he vanished.
If he survived, he will have fled to his refuge.
Refuge?
He has a palace, somewhere in the deserts of eastern Kyrgyzstan. But that is all I know.